The future used to be so clear when I was reliving the past. Once I caught up to the moment I had left, that ended. All I've had to go on since then are the plan and the visions. I knew Jack would come to me. I'd seen that, but I didn't know why exactly, or how it would end.
There he is. You were right.
My visions of the future aren't always clear, but they don't lie.
Speaking of lies, Joyce is saying he's discovered his brother's time machine.
We've spent 17 years looking for it, and he finds it in less than a day?
Does sound unlikely.
Still, we know it's out there somewhere, and we don't know what his brother managed to tell him.
If he really has located the machine, why would he come here and tell you? Smart Money says he's trying to play you.
Maybe, but the machine is out there. It's in our interest to find out where. And if Jack knows, I have to talk to him.
I'm so ready to
Dr.
play.
Joyce could have provided the answer to that question.
William's attitude and knowledge made him a liability.
Is that angry young man going to cooperate any more than his brother did? You remember Jack as a close friend, but that clouds your judgment. Don't make this personal.
It's not.
Then don't forget why we're here tonight.
It absolutely is.
After what happened, our people need reassurance that we're in control. You're the man who could win them over. Let me handle Joyce, so you can concentrate on your speech.
That's probably
I
super
know what's
wise.
at stake here, Martin.
Ego. Oh, I'm so ready to play as Mr. Paul. Look at our digs, man. Damn. Talk about money. Alright, well. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, this RicketyGames. I'm Sydney, and today
Mr. Joyce is waiting for us down below.
we are here waiting on Mr. Joyce. Really waiting on me, because I'm just here to hang out in my fancy, humble abode. Humble is really not what comes to mind either. We are here with Quantum Break. This is part of Act 2, but it is the Junction 2. So this is where we get to play Paul, make some reckless decisions, and then watch the episode and see the consequences of our wonderful decisions. So I'm very excited to kind of get to it. We also get to have the most wonderful voiced actor here playing his evil sidekick self in this. Sir, I am enjoying my not-so-humble digs here, okay? And there's something to read here. But also, damn, look at this view. Oh, I can see my business straight from here. If ego was a person, it's literally Paul here. Wow, it's damn gorgeous, though. Whew. I love that he's got the view here. Quite literally of everything. He's just bound there. And Paul's gonna waltz up there and be like, "Hey, bestie, how's it going?" And Jack's gonna be like, "You're not the man that I grew up with. Paul walked into that machine and a monster came out of it." It's gonna be very true, though. And that seems to be kind of what happened. There's definitely two ways to kind of look at Paul. And this is kind of what I wanted to get into before we jump in here. I know, you guys are probably sick of my yapping by now, but this is what it's for. Welcome to the Remedy series. So what I wanted to say last time, but I cut it out because I was like, it's getting long, is that there's two ways to see Paul, right? You can either see Paul as a man who's afraid of the future, afraid of the end of the world, right? He's seen the end of time and he's doing his absolute best to find a way out, and he thinks he has a solution and he's doing everything in his interest to do that. So it's a man functioning out of fear, right? And that's definitely a way to characterize Paul, for sure. But you can't ignore the other side of Paul, which is a very egotistical, arrogant person. And his arrogance is precisely what put us into this situation, right? His ignoring all of the scientists, ignoring the one guy who probably could tell you exactly why, right, Will, since it was literally based off his schematics, is even more reason to listen to the man, right? Paul didn't want his business venture to fail. He didn't want a mark on his record. So that ego got in the way of reason, and he decided to go through with the test to prove that it works to keep his investors. And that is what broke time. So he seems to have come to terms with the fact that he is responsible for breaking time, and he said he had a harder time grasping that he couldn't fix it. So he's accepted both of those things. Now, the problem with what's happening now, at least in our hardline approach, and I would guess that in the PR approach as well, it's just him being nicer on the outside, is that Paul is forcing his vision of what he thinks should happen onto everyone else, right? If there are any other choices that he could make, we don't get to know, because he has this plan, because he believes this is going to be working, and he is one and one man alone, right? He is imposing his version of what he thinks is good for everyone else on literally the entire world. And he's also picking and choosing who gets to survive in this world once time completely destroys itself and the end of the world comes too. So there's definitely all of that to contend with. I just kind of wanted to point that out, that there's definitely, obviously, a complexity to Paul, right? He's not entirely bad, he's not entirely good, but you can't ignore definite aspects to him that are both good and bad and kind of lend to the type of morally complex characters that we love to see, especially in the Remedy games. Anyways, I will get to yapping as we read, so let's examine the views.
The mansion was an extravagance, but it was useful for events like the gala, and it deflected attention from our nearby R&D facility.
You mean that one? I don't know how you distract from that, because it's that's brighter than the Avengers Tower, but alright. What's on the computer?
Dr. Sophia Amaral had taken over our Chronon research department after Dr. Kim's accident. She was the only one who could treat the Chronon syndrome.
We do need to find out what happened to Dr. Kim. We were hinted at that something not so savory happened to Dr. Kim, that it was not necessarily an accident, that someone else was in the room with him. Forgetting who at this current moment, but there is that. Alright. October 7th, 2016, 1:40 p.m. from Sophia Amaral to Erica Cross. Erica, first of all, my condolences and apologies. I didn't realize you had a history with Henry, and frankly, I would not have promoted you into this position had I known. If you would be more comfortable working on something else, I can make that happen, no questions asked. To be clear, I'm not talking about a demotion, I mean a comparable senior position in another department. You are correct in that it's a very sensitive topic, but given your current security clearance, I can tell you what I know. Unfortunately, I don't know much. For the past 6 months, I myself have been trying to work out what happened, but I haven't made much progress. I know Henry was working late in his lab, and there was some kind of chronon particle surge. Of course, we know that exposure to large quantities of chronon particles can result in physical changes. Paul Serene is an example of that. His first exposure resulted in his extraordinary abilities, and the second exposure caused his progressive condition. In Henry's case, that exposure transformed him into a chronon disruptive wave function subject, or a shifter. A chronon disrupted wave function subject. What a mouthful. And they just said, fuck it, we'll say shifter. It is, of course, clear that Mr. Serene's and Henry's conditions are essentially the same thing, even if Mr. Serene's case hasn't progressed as far. However, it's not all clear how Henry could have been exposed to such a powerful dose of chronon particles, particularly as the lab itself underwent none of the temporal changes we have come to associate with such an exceptional event. None of the containers on the scene had remotely enough chronon particle capacity for such a high dose, and furthermore, all of them were intact and accounted for. In short, we don't know where these particles could possibly have come from. I'm not sure that Martin Hatch was unwilling to discuss this. He was the only other person present in the lab when the accident took place, but I don't know why he was there or what happened, and he claims to have no memory of the events. Despite this, Martin somehow managed to contain Henry in the artificial zero state field set up in the lab. I'm unwilling to speculate as to how this could possibly have happened. Suffice to say that I have many questions about these events myself. Think about my offer, Erica. You're a first-rate scientist, and I would hate to lose you, but I would absolutely understand if you wanted to change departments. Please give my best to your wife. It was lovely to meet her the other week, Sophia. Okay, and that answers my previous forgetfulness. Mr. Hatch was in the room with Dr. Kim, and this is not the first time that Dr. Amaral has pointed out that Mr. Hatch has ulterior, or appears to have ulterior motives. and that he may not want Paul Serene cured was her last message, right? He moved all of the resources to the tech and away from curing Paul, finding a cure. So that was a thing. And then also that he was the only other person present in the room when Dr. Kim died, but has apparently no memory of it. So that's kind of strange. We do know, I forget who he was talking to at this point, but we read another email that Martin Hatch was working with somebody else against Paul. And they were worried, or at least the other party was worried at the time, that Paul might be onto them since they were looking into Liam Burke or somebody else being a traitor within Monarch, and they were worried that they were going to get caught. And Hatch was the calm one saying, chill out, we're not going to get caught, proceed with everything as planned. They're definitely setting up Martin Hatch to be the alternative bad guy, kind of the surprise at the end of the tunnel there. I don't know how bad he could be. I mean, it could go either way. He could be like on our side eventually and just he's working in his own kind of way, or he could be working to usurp the company itself. So all options are on the table at the moment. So let's continue. To Sophia Amaral from Erica Cross. Subject on what happened to Dr. Kim. So this is the email that she is replying to that we just read. Sophia, I realize this may not be a welcome question, but I feel like I need to ask. I knew Henry Kim very well. I went to school with him, and he was actually my husband's best man for my first marriage. Unfortunately, when I moved down to Florida, we didn't manage to stay in touch. Let's just say that life took me into unexpected directions. It was a very welcome surprise to hear from him when he was recruiting new people, and I'm glad to say that we hit it off again. We spoke on the phone a lot. He came over to meet my wife, and, well, it was like old times. It could have been awkward, but it wasn't. Henry was like that. You can imagine my shock and disappointment when I heard about his death just a week before my employment at Monarch began. We didn't get to work together the way I had hoped. Now, Monarch has been very good to me, but his death has been eating at me. I know it's something people don't want to discuss, and I understand there are confidentiality issues. However, having recently been cleared for some of the more sensitive Chronon research, I now know the story of his death is a fabrication, and Henry has become something entirely different. I'm not blaming anybody, but for my own peace of mind, or sense of closure, I suppose, I'm wondering if, given my new security clearance, you are in a position to explain how this came to pass. I should add that I brought this up with Martin Hatch the other day, and he made it clear, in no uncertain terms, that I should drop the matter. Given that, I'm taking something of a chance talking to you about this, but I feel like I can't let this go. I understand if you aren't allowed to discuss it, but I'm more than a little scared and upset. I hope I can rely on your discretion either way. Erica. So she reached out to Sophia basically just in earnest as her friend is dead. And also, you know, to understand what's happening science-wise. I'm sure it's both, right? Scared and upset. And she kind of had a vulnerable moment to reach out to her. And Sophia returned in kind, which is nice to see. She didn't just kind of bat her away. One of one found. Yeehaw. I also realize that I have to do this type of thing in order to with Jack to find the energy sources. I realized that when I was editing last time, because when we were in the swimming pool area, there was a lot of Chronon sources that I could have found. It was like, I think I found 2 of 5 or something like that, or 1 of 5. And I was like, well, I'll keep an eye out for them. I didn't see any. And then I managed to do this when I was looking for a piece of paper. And I missed it because it was at the corner of my screen. I wasn't paying attention. And so that must be how we reveal them. So that's good to know for later. But Paul's already maxed out, I'm sure, because he's just Mr. Fabulous over here with his powers and abilities. He's had 17 years to garner those powers. So I would hope that he's at least a little bit maxed out. Oh, I can only casually saunter, no running. Mr. Hatch, I will follow you anywhere. Looking good in that suit. What are those? Looks like Kate. Oh, I can run now. I can do a little jog. Oh, hell yeah. I can ruffle my suit. Oh, where'd he go? Wow, he's a fast one. Damn, he just fucking teleported. Gift bag? Goodie bags?
What are these doing here? We should be set up by now.
It's all on schedule. You're micromanaging again.
Hatch is like, God damn, it was so nice when you weren't here. Fuck off. Yeah, no twitching. Uh-oh. This is gonna go swimmingly, by the way. He's gonna be like, hey, bestie, and Jack is gonna be like...
And here you are.
I had to see the lifestyles of the sick and traitorous up close and personal. And it was such a nice invitation.
How do you want to deal with this, Paul?
Oh, here we go. Focus on your personal business or the mission. Oh. Can I run around like a maniac first? I'm sorry, I want to go explore.
What should we do about Joyce?
Oh. In a minute, moment. In a minute. Alright, there's nothing around here.
Shh.
Go
This asshole
right up
don't
in
look
his
like
business.
much. Tell that to all the guys he wasted.
Literally, though.
I could still try to reach Jack and make him see reason. Or I could let Hatch deal with him so nothing would distract me from leading Monarch.
What an interesting choice.
Into the past. I tried to change things.
Answer me this question, Paul.
I once trusted Jack more than anybody. It was my only chance to make him understand the truth.
The fuck do you mean nobody got a look at the shooter?
But without me there to give the speech, my empire would start to crumble like a house of cards.
Oh, shit.
I believe that with hope comes miscalculation. And as you and I are well aware, Mr. Joyce, with miscalculation can often come catastrophe. And that leaves me with you, Mr. Joyce.
But my old friend would be a lost cause. Dead and buried along with the rest of my past. Tonight is a celebration in face of darkness. Tonight we celebrate because I promise to you that we are prepared. Monarch would grow stronger with my presence. The plan would go forward as intended.
Whoa. So these are some interesting choices. Like, it really is what we, like, literally talked about coming down the stairs. Like, Martin Hatch, like, when we were up in the office, like, he literally said this. This is a really fascinating, small, but very significant choice, right? Basically, deal with your friend personally, face to face, or don't do that and focus on the business, which would be the smarter thing to do, because I think Martin Hatch is right. Paul can't resist making this personal, right? It's a part of his ego-centered nature to want to appeal to Jack as his best friend, right? Somebody that never changed, even though Paul himself is completely different from the Paul they grew up with, right? Because Paul obviously has been living in himself this whole time, and he's only had his experiences, right, under his own belt. He knows that he's gained more knowledge, but he's not aware that he's changed, right? And Jack is operating under the outsider perspective of Paul's actions, right? The Paul that he knew wouldn't have done this. The Paul that took care of him when they were teenagers, that got him out of trouble, that sent him to Thailand to avoid getting a record and ruining his life any further, right? That Paul is not the one that stands before him right now. And obviously they're gonna butt heads there, but it's in Serene's personal interest to try and regain his trust and his friend in Jack. But we know it's not gonna work, right? Jack is far too pissed off and far too hot-headed, and rightfully so, right, to let any of his past dealings and relationships with Paul obscure his actions, right? Paul killed his brother, and he made it happen. He also broke time with his arrogance, right? Those are two very egregious actions that are harmful to not only Jack himself, but literally the entire world. We know that's going to be a disaster. But from Paul's personal sense of mind, it's very interesting that this is the choice here. Basically, let his empire crumble, but I guess gain the moment that he wants with his friend. The only person who's ever known who Paul probably really is, right? I know Paul wants this moment because he wants to appeal to his friend and probably his own humanity, right? That if he gets to talk to Jack and reason with him, and if Jack could somehow side with him and understand why he's doing what he's doing, Paul would be justified, right? If he could get that little kernel of approval, right, from Jack, then he wins no matter what happens, right? That he's correct because he still believes in Jack, because feeding into that personal urge, right, feeds into the bond that they used to have. But to ignore it kills it entirely. You become the villain. This becomes the Paul villain origin story, right? Cut off the personal, there is nothing left, go forward with the business, go forward with the plan. Where the probably smarter decision for Monarch, right, is exactly what Martin Hatch said, which is let Martin Hatch deal with Jack because he's got no personal feelings towards him. It would be completely neutral on both sides probably, although hostile of course because they're on opposite factions. But Serene gets to focus on leading Monarch and basically ensuring their image in the public eye and amongst their employees themselves, which is probably very important for the steps ahead for Monarch itself. Hardline damaged Monarch's reputation, right? Publicly, we're on the verge of getting trashed. So if we do the personal thing, Monarch will definitely fall as a company, right? Publicly speaking, we will be in the absolute gutter. That's not a good thing if you want the company to keep running and earning money, right? The fact that he's willing to let it go at all is really fascinating, because my mind would be on the business end, especially since we chose the hardline approach, right? The reason I chose that is because from Paul's perspective, we're trying to save Monarch, we're trying to ensure our plan, right? If we're planting ourselves in the shoes of Paul and we're taking on his perspective, we would want Monarch to do well because we want Monarch to be ensuring the plans that we've set forth, making sure that not only we, but the few that we've chosen survive for the lifeboat protocol and whatever other plans that are in place happen, right? We've been preparing for this for 17 years, and you don't want it to fail now. So the hardline approach, although harsh publicly, ensures that there are no loose ends and that everything goes to plan as far as we can control so far. We have a chance to sabotage that right now, which is fascinating. The story person in me wants the personal because I would love to see Paul and Jack like have that moment. I am literally so torn about this because the smart decision is the business decision, but the story decision is the personal one. If it were a TV show, it would absolutely be the personal approach, right? Because you want the two characters, the two main characters, the protagonist and the antagonist, your hero and the villain, to meet face to face for, you know, the last chance, right? To redeem themselves, right? That Serene has one chance to get Jack on his side, and Jack has a moment to appeal to Serene and to get him to see what he's actually doing. And if you're coming from a very cool-headed approach, and you're not going to mix your personal baggage in with the business, you would want to choose the business approach, especially after the hardline approach. I feel like the Paul that I have in my brain would do both. I don't know. But I chose hardline because I was trying to ensure the longevity of Monarch's plans, right? Even if the business fails, the plans would be intact, the loose ends would be cut, right? So I feel like in that spirit, I have to go with the business, because if we're trying to ensure that Monarch stands as Paul, then that's the best way to do it, despite everything in me wanting to absolutely pull the left trigger. We gotta complete the villain origin story. Okay.
We didn't come this far to get derailed now. You talk to him, find out what he knows, then get rid of him.
You're all heart, moneybags.
I know you want to make this all about you and me, Jack. But that's far away in the past now. And I have a speech to prepare for.
Cold as fuck.
I've seen where this leads. I've been to the end of time, and I've escaped it, all the way to 1999, when it all started. I've tried to change things, but by trying, I only made them happen in the first place.
The closed loop. Ooh, this one was a lot more split on the choices. I'm still in minority, which is not a surprise. But this was a much harder decision to make because last time, I think it was only like 20-something% that chose like me. So I continue to choose the unpopular paths. But I mean, I stand by the hardline approach. If we're going to try and ensure the longevity of the plan, right? Monarch is just a business, like I said last time, and it will fail eventually, but our plan has to succeed. As Paul, that's the only thing that matters, right? Is that plan that he's been cooking up for 17 years, right? If you are that driven, that obsessed, you have to, right? Everything has to be sacrificed for that, including the past. Most importantly, the past, right? All the mistakes, all of the attempts, right, to try and fix it or whatever that he thinks he failed to do, right? And then all of the feelings, they have to die. Business has to move forward, and this is the way to do it. Ugh! Let's do it. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Time is breaking down. Monarch has been preparing for it. There's this thing. It's called a lifeboat protocol, and it can save us, at least some of us.
You've been the face of Monarch for all these years, Martin. But let's get clear on something. This is still my ship.
You're not thinking clearly. You need your treatment.
You gonna go?
Me? Go to a party.
We can roll together if you want.
What do you want?
Anyone who might implicate Monarch.
Fuck you. Wait!
We just lost communication with Jack Joyce's transpo. Find him.
Step away! Right now!
Liam, this isn't what it looks like. No. No! He's gone.
We need all points converged on Liam Burke. He's armed and dangerous.
Yeah, buddy got fucked. Should have driven through the fence. Driven through the fence, man. Go haywire. That was the previously on. Oh, I'm so excited. I need to know the consequences of my actions. I'm ready. I came prepared with snacks.
Breathe.
Dr. Sophia Amaral.
The treatments, they're losing their effectiveness.
Fine.
No, I need to work on something new.
You should enjoy yourself tonight. You work too much as it is.
I've been running tests on the temporal anomalies. They're increasing in frequency and duration.
They'll dissipate, I've told you that.
You need to consider that maybe what you have seen is wrong.
It's not wrong. I need to prepare for my speech. Sophia, you shouldn't worry so much.
The roller coaster there. The tension, no tension. We're into each other. We're pissed off. 15 hours the fracturing time. Oh, it's a party.
You haven't touched your drink.
I'm not really into drinking a lot, I guess.
She's gonna drink heavily being with
Rough
you,
day?
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Like what?
I have things happen in my day. I do.
Uh-huh.
I had to deal with some internal affairs.
Internal affairs. Oh, you're just gonna leave me hanging?
Well, yeah, it's internal.
Charlie.
Okay.
Okay.
I helped catch a traitor today.
Traitor. Was that what all that commotion was about?
Yep. That was me.
Who was it?
I mean,
Who was it?
Who was it?
Yeah.
I can't,
What?
I am not at liberty to discuss this.
Well, you just brought it up.
With the power of boners.
Well, monarch drama.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to leave you hanging on that one. For real, this time.
Oh, I just thought maybe you'd want to share it with me. But whatever.
We know she's on our side, right? With Beth?
I'm gonna use the restroom, so I'll leave you hanging here. For real.
Okay.
Go mingle. Yeah. Drink a little.
Okay.
He's gonna go run to his desk at this point. She's either that worried about Liam or there's something more. Or maybe Beth, because Beth was her contact, that we know that they were in contact with each other. Or maybe she's sick. Oh my god! He's like, hey, I stole your gun. The death stare. Awkward stare.
Thanks for the gun.
Dr. Ramro?
Martin, I need your help. He listens to you. Paul,
Is that so?
I think we're in trouble, and he doesn't see it. He refuses to.
I can't imagine why.
I know you and I haven't always seen eye to eye, but I know you care about Monarch. You care about what happens. And if we are reaching zero state, something has to be done.
And what is it we could do?
You know what we could do.
Truth is, Sophia, it's not really a matter of whether or not Paul will listen to me. It's that I won't listen to you. I find your approach to matters rather counterproductive. Filling Paul's head with your constant alarmism, distracting him with petty doomsday scenarios. I mean, if I'm being honest, I rue the day he gave you a modicum of function in this company. Because you said, I care about Monarch.
What is it that you're so threatened by, Martin?
Do I look threatened to you?
What's going on?
It's nothing. We were just having a little chat. You should prepare for your speech. Enjoy the evening, Doctor.
He's like towering over her, like 10 feet tall. The stare at the tension you could cut with a knife, and he's just. Awkward as fuck. And he's having a psychotic break. Like, he's literally losing it now.
Hey, you're Crocker, right? Hey, Crocker! Crocker! I really need to take a shit. Fuck, come on, Crocker. Crocker! Come on, Crocker!
That's your approach, dude?
Oh my god.
Over there.
Where?
The woman with the necklace. My money is on that.
It's a pretty good choice,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to go with Ryan Gosling down there talking with George Clooney. Wearing his nice cufflinks, chatting about stocks.
Richard, where the hell have you been?
Didn't have my invitation.
Oh my god, you're always losing things.
I'm not losing anything.
Drama.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's going for it.
No.
Bam.
No.
Told ya.
Oh. Why am I losing
You owe me
so
a sword.
bad?
Somebody
Drink.
I don't think I
No,
can.
rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
Rules are fucking rules. You owe me another sword.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm doing it. Oh, I actually hate olives.
You can do it, my man.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Nicely done. Thank you.
I just wish I wasn't losing so bad.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah. And she's like, I'm gonna shove your ass in a bush and get the name of the
Alright,
traitor
let's
out of you.
I'm taking mine too.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Crocker!
Burke!
Shut up.
Crocker! Hey, buddy. Hey.
Burke,
Listen,
if I have to come in there, you're gonna fucking regret it.
listen, this is just a big misfucking understanding. I'm gonna be out tomorrow. I will put in a good word for you. I will help you climb this ladder. All I'm asking is please let me take a fucking shit.
Go to the back wall.
Fuck, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
The only person gonna be taking the shit is you, buddy.
Oh, man.
He cracks his
Thank you.
fucking skull against the wall.
Back up slowly.
Yeah.
Didn't even need his hands.
So you don't mind that we left, do you?
I mean, I wasn't really excited about going in the first place.
Okay, why'd you go?
I think because somebody twisted my arm.
What the fuck is that?
Kind of looks like a dinosaur wearing a helmet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Hey, where are we? Are we even allowed to be out here?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. All right.
Because I can never leave my 2x4
So what
room.
would you have been doing tonight if we didn't go?
What, if I hadn't gone to the party with you?
Yeah.
Well, I would have canceled all my other really important plans.
Ah.
And I would have gone back to work.
I think maybe you work a little too much.
Yes.
But big answer.
Well, no, I mean, it doesn't feel like work. You know, I like being wired in.
Yeah.
Makes me feel connected. You work all the time. In fact, you're there most of the time I'm there. So, don't you think you work too much?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, no. I guess, yeah. I love work.
Hold it right there!
Shit!
You little fuck! Hey, what? All you had to do was let me in that perimeter lab. You turned on Monarch. What was I supposed to do? You have no idea what's going on, do you?
I need to get in that lab. There's something in there that I need.
The lifeboat protocol. You work with Beth Wilder. I've seen you before.
You know her?
Which is the reason I'm here.
Did she just give her cover up? Damn, dude, your heart got smashed to pieces. Almost murdered and heartbroken in the same night. That's fucked. But this will be interesting to know if Charlie knows about Lifeboat Protocol.
Yeah.
And what he would do to find out if he isn't a part of it.
Come on, hurry up.
You're a very kind person.
It's right up here.
Oh, right. I got it, guys. I got it. Yeah, I guess you guys can't do this. It's a special talent I have. Glad it's so celebrated. You're welcome.
Is this it?
What is that? Is it Dr. Kim?
What is that?
It looked like something was in there. Oh my god, it is! It is!
What the fuck is that?
What is wrong with her?
Chronon disrupted life form. Extremely hostile. Only ever heard of him.
Life form.
It's Dr. Kim.
Oh shit. So he's like a creature now. I mean, we knew, but it's interesting to like see that they're keeping him. It's the consequences.
Do you know who I am? Martin Hatch, Paul's other half.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
I see the monarch's well-being. Oftentimes, the matters Paul may find well, arbitrary.
He is.
So you're his assistant.
He's the business.
A little more complex than that.
It doesn't sound like it.
Now, I consider and offer you my condolences for your brother, and, well, you can tell me to fuck off. I could tell you Paul doesn't want you to suffer the same fate, and you could tell me to fuck off. Or I could point out that there's a difference between Paul and myself. You see, Paul, he still has such hope for the world, whereas I lean towards a more realistic approach. Trouble is, I believe that with hope comes miscalculation, and as you and I are well aware, Mr. Joyce, with miscalculation can often come catastrophe.
Paul's a very dangerous man, practically a zealot. And things will only get worse if he continues unchecked. And that leaves me with you, Mr. Joyce. Maybe you and I can find some common ground.
Damn, he hates fucking Paul with a fucking fury. He just gave him the key and a gun. Camera's off. Wow, that's interesting, because he wants to run Monarch. He wants to get rid of Paul, and he knows that Jack is the means to get rid of Paul, because Paul is so self-absorbed.
Who was he?
He was my mentor from college and then here to Monarch. I was in a bad place and he kind of turned me around.
Got it. Sort of. I mean, it's a ghost file. It's remnant of mass deletion. Somebody was here. We got, Cronin field regulator.
Wait, hold on. Holy shit, this is Dr. Amaril's report.
What is it?
The stutters, they're increasing in frequency.
What's a stutter?
The more frequent the stutters, the more indicative of a fracture.
Okay, and what's a fracture?
He doesn't
Of
know
time.
anything.
Zero state, it stops, and it doesn't start back up.
And the lifeboat protocol could save us.
I have no idea. But the Chronon field regulator, it is the core of Monarch's time tech. Everything is based upon it. And it has something to do with the lifeboat.
Everybody's got pieces of it. So Charlie is purely and only
We have to go.
Wait, tech.
No. This way. Sure.
Yeah, you're with us, buddy, now. If you weren't, you are now.
No, don't.
You in the blicker.
Fiona.
The lab is stutter-proof. Stay here.
That's a stutter. Where are you going? There are Chronon harnesses up here. We need them.
Ah, that's what he was looking at. The tech. Because he was trained to be one of these guys. Almost, right? You keep that in your pocket, buddy.
Holy crap.
Go, buddy, go!
Holy shit! Put one of those on.
Good shot. Whoa! They're even weirder with TV effects. Crappy TV effects. I love it. Ah! It's mine. Nice.
Charlie! Fuck it!
Go, bro.
Let's go!
Yeah, now she's hearing gunfire.
Go!
We gotta get Charlie now, because he'll rat. Although, I wonder if this is enough to kind of shake his, like, core, right? He's so loyal to Monarch, but they haven't told him anything about what's happening. He doesn't know what stutters are. He doesn't know about the time fractures. He doesn't know about anything other than the technology that he is monitoring the employees of Monarch. and right, who is and isn't okay for clearances and stuff like that. Ooh, that has gotta feel like a big betrayal, on top of also the betrayal of Fiona, of course. I want more. I love both. I love the game and I love the TV show. The TV show is obviously engaging because there's nothing to read or stop anything. It's just straight action. It's got that CW, like, cheesy production value that is perfect for something like this, and it's absolutely fantastic. But it's very interesting to get the consequences of what we're doing in the game with this. And I didn't really even think about it until I saw Martin Hatch open the door to the interrogation room, but that was such a moment. I want to ensure, obviously, the plans for Monarch as Paul, right, when I'm playing him. But there is an alternative vision to see, knowing what we know of the outer greater Remedy universe here with Alan Wake 2, right? Because if Martin Hatch has an affinity or is a type of, say, Mr. Door-like, right? And Mr. Door is hunting Shawn Ashmore's character across all of time and space, right? It would be interesting to see them interact. Now, obviously, you guys have let me know, but also it's very clear that Martin Hatch is not Mr. Door and he doesn't have it in, but he is almost like a foil to him and almost like an alternate. And it's easy to see that this is Martin Hatch giving Jack Joyce a hand, right? A tit for tat. This is a moment where he's saying, I'm gonna help you if you help me, right? He knows that his fury and his anger over the death of his brother, over the breaking of time, over being used as a friend, all the etc. above, right? All of those things are enraging Jack. They're fueling his adrenaline and his anger towards Paul, and everything is aimed towards Paul, right? So he knows that if he just lets Jack out, Jack will do the work to get to Paul and take him down. Mr. Hatch has been the face of Monarch Solutions in Paul's absence. So if Paul were to step down, or somebody like Martin Hatch were to step up into his place as CEO, following whatever circumstances, it wouldn't be that hard for all of the business that's been done with Monarch through Martin Hatch to just continue as it was. And Martin Hatch gets to actually steer the ship and become the new captain. And I don't think he's working against anything other than Paul himself. And that's the reason that he doesn't want him cured, because if he dies of his own diseases, whoops, he died, it's not anybody's fault, even better, and he gets to run the business. If Paul gets suddenly terminated by someone like Jack, assassinated, right, whoops, what a tragedy, he gets the business. So, till next time, this is me from the future, but will be the past, signing off for now. So I'll see you in the next episode, guys, in the next act. The next act will be right over here, and the next episode will be over here. See ya.